What's up, everybody? Adam here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Amazon FBA, dropshipping, TikTok Shop, affiliate marketing, Shopify, making money online. There's so many ways that you can make money online, and there's so much content out there telling you that you should do this or that, and that this way is better than the other. And I'm here to set the record straight on some of this stuff, because I've been doing this since 2012. I've made millions of dollars building e-commerce brands. I've built and sold 4 brands over the years. I also co-founded and also sold one of the largest Amazon FBA agencies in the world called 3BG. And I've raised over 8 figures in venture capital for a software as a service company that I co-founded called Palm Technologies, which worked in the treasury management space. I have some very strong opinions about this, and in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to talk through some of these models and explain why I think some are clearly much better than others, and what I think you should be doing if you want to get started making money online, if you want to build an e-commerce business, or if you're already kind of getting started, if you already have some products in mind, or you've launched products before. This video is also for you, because I'm hoping that I can guide you in the right direction so you can maximize this incredible opportunity and truly golden era of e-commerce that we have ahead of us right now. So sit back, take a minute, relax, get a cup of coffee. I'm going to go through some of these different options for you and give my 2 cents on each of them. All right, so let's start with drop shipping. I am not a fan of drop shipping, okay? It's not that it can't be good. It's not that it can't be lucrative. It can be if you do it right. However, I think it's often portrayed as this super easy way to get started in e-commerce, and you'll make a ton of money really fast, and basically, shitloads of gurus out there pump this content and this idea that like drop shipping is the golden ticket to money and you're going to get rich quick and all that stuff. And I think that couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is that drop shipping is a low margin business. Usually you don't really build brand equity most of the time, which is where you really make the most of your money. If you build an e-commerce business or a brand, you get that on the equity when you either sell the business or you take on additional investors and you have a liquidity event, which I'll talk about in a little while. But drop shipping, don't get me wrong, you can make money doing it, okay? But you're gonna have to learn like anything else. You're gonna have to dedicate a lot of time to it. You're gonna have to spin your wheels and make mistakes. And really, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to drop shipping, because again, how are you gonna sell that business, okay? How are you gonna convince other people to invest in that business? The cons are pretty straightforward. Usually lower margins, right? You're not controlling the supply chain typically. And so you have to buy the product from some sort of distributor or the manufacturer directly. And usually there's some kind of markup because they're going to manage a lot of the fulfillment and logistics and stuff like that. And you're not really the brand owner. So you don't have kind of as much of a say as you would in the product selection and the product features and stuff like that. But most importantly, you don't have a whole lot of margin to work with as you would if you were manufacturing the product yourself or if you were doing private labeling. So that's one of the big cons. The other con is that you don't control a lot of the distribution and stuff. So, there are times where maybe your top selling product goes out of stock and you're at the whim of the manufacturer to make more of that product. Or if there's a defect with the product, for example, and you sell a ton of them, well, the responsibility is on you as the seller to make that right, and you're going to have to work with the supplier to deal with that. So you don't own the elements of the supply chain in the same way as if you were manufacturing your own product. Now, some of that stuff is still the same when it comes to private labeling and building businesses like that, but I just think you have much less control over it when it comes to drop shipping, and for that reason, that's another big con for me. The biggest con, though, in my opinion, is the equity component, right? So it's really hard to build a meaningful brand on drop shipping. And what I mean by that is, you can build a branded drop shipping website, for example. You can do some of the things to kind of brand your product, But at the end of the day, you really don't have a brand. You don't like own the brand in so much as, yes, you put a label on it. Yes, you have a branded website. Maybe you can customize elements of the hang tags and stuff like that, but it's not your brand at the end of the day. And because of that, when it comes to selling the business, which is where most e-commerce business owners make the most of their money, is either some sort of sale of the company to private equity or to a strategic buyer, or if there's an investor that comes on board and you take liquidity as part of that process, it's very difficult to convince people to buy a business like that. And when they do, you're going to sell for a much lower multiple than you would if you had built a real brand, with differentiating products, with maybe some patents, some, whatever, technological advantages. I mean, the list goes on how do you separate yourself from other products, but it's very difficult to do that with drop shipping. And because of that, I rank that like the absolute lowest when it comes to e-commerce. I just don't think it's a great place to spend a lot of time. If you want to learn about elements of e-commerce, it's a good place to get started. I would say maybe, the pros being is that you typically don't require as much upfront capital to build a business like that, because you usually don't have to buy the products until they've been sold. And so, in that sense, yeah, you don't need a lot of capital to get started, but you still need to run ads, right? You still need to get traffic to your website or to your listing somehow, and usually that requires some ad spend and some money to do that. So you need to have marketing dollars. So it's not entirely no cost to get started, but when compared to maybe placing bulk orders for, let's say, a private label product or building your own brand or whatever, the costs are a little bit lower in that sense. So I think that's probably the only pro. However, you can get a lot of the same pros, if you want to call it, in other ways to get started building an actual brand where you own more of the elements of it, where you have better brand equity and all that stuff. So I just don't think it's worth it when it comes down to the business models that are out there. I would rank drop shipping probably at the bottom of the list. The next business model I'm going to talk about is the Shopify business model, so direct to consumer. Now, I think it's a great business if you know what you're doing. And what I mean by that is, the people that I know, the people that have made a lot of money doing direct to consumer, they either really, really understand ad buying, they really, really understand content, they really understand how to make really great, catchy, viral pieces of content and how to test and iterate on that super quickly. And then by doing that are able to find winners much quicker and capitalize on that traffic than, say, the average person who's just getting started, building their own direct-to-consumer site. And so I would say if you're new to e-commerce, building a Shopify website is not the easiest way to get started. It's a great way to learn, don't get me wrong. And you do learn a lot, and you're going to spend money also and time to learn how to do it. But you have the problem of, okay, maybe you have a great product, maybe you have good manufacturer, great branding, etc. How are you going to get traffic to your website, right? You have to find the buyers. People have this notion that if they make something great, people will just show up and buy it. And that's just not true, okay? You have to market your product. You have, like any other business, you have to get people in the door, or the digital door, if you want to call it that. You have to get people to your website, right? You have to get traffic. You have to convert that traffic. So that's actually really hard to do if you don't know what you're doing. And the people that you're up against are, mostly experts. Like people that I know that have been doing it for 10 years know how to do ads, right? They know how to use Meta. They know how to leverage organic traffic. They've built these machines and teams that can test this stuff and get products spun up quickly and test the products themselves right before they even place a bulk order. So they may run multiple products at once and multiple ad variations and just hammer it and iterate, and they find a product that's a winning product, and then they build a brand off that. And so you need to understand that the people that you're kind of competing against in that regard generally have a lot more experience. Now, the pros are, again, that, like you're building a real brand, right? You have brand equity if you do it right. You can test and iterate really quickly, where you don't have some of the restrictions that you have on Amazon as a marketplace or TikTok Shop. You can basically own the customer data as it comes in, which is a huge thing that you really should be doing anyway, is getting customer emails, retargeting them, trying to increase your lifetime value of the customer, increase your AOVs when you get them to the website. So all that stuff is super positive, right? Just know that it takes a lot of work and a certain skill set to be successful doing it. There's also some variations of this that I think are even better than just like a regular Shopify site. And one of those is cash on delivery model, right? And so it doesn't work in every marketplace, but cash on delivery is one of those things that's not really talked about that often, but it's super lucrative if you do it right. And especially in certain markets where cash on delivery is kind of like the norm. For example, in Eastern Europe, there's a lot of people that prefer to shop with cash on demand, meaning they pay for the product with cash or with the card or whatever when it arrives to them. And so that's a great business model because there's actually quite a high barrier to entry to get started on it. But that kind of has the same element of having your own direct-to-consumer website, but the difference being that the customer doesn't, pay per se via the website. They pay when they receive the product. So I would say Shopify is a great business model, but very complex and difficult to learn, and has a high barrier to entry and difficult to be successful. And then you have cash on demand, which is even better in my opinion, can be even more lucrative, disruptive, kind of in the sense that a lot of people don't really know about it. But you have to have, local partners set up. You have to have all the logistics stuff set up to sell in multiple marketplaces. And obviously there's a language element and stuff like that, because cash on demand is not really that commonly used in the United States. So you'd be looking at other markets to do that, like I said, Eastern Europe, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, Romania, Saudi Arabia, places like that where it's kind of more common to do cash on demand. So the cons are just the complexity and challenges of building a business like that, but the pros are, and this is basically infinite scalability. You have your brand ownership, you're collecting customer data to retarget them, to remarket to them. If done well and is profitable, is very exitable. There's tons of companies out there that are looking to buy businesses that are doing really strong direct-to-consumer business. And so those are the pros of building a Shopify or direct-to-consumer business model versus the cons. So I think it's a great business model, but just know what you're getting into. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's really challenging as a new e-commerce person to be successful doing it. Okay, the next business model I'm going to talk about is Amazon FBA. We've all been hearing about this now forever. I mean, you'd have to be living under a rock to not know, that Amazon FBA exists, that there's tons of money to be made on it, that, it's all done by Amazon, it's fulfilled by Amazon, you don't have to do anything, yada, yada, yada. I think it's an amazing business model when paired up with other things. And that's a huge caveat here with this, because if you're just doing Amazon FBA without any other twist to it, essentially, I think it's not a great business model. And this is coming from somebody who made millions of dollars on Amazon. Like I said, I've built and sold a number of brands on Amazon FBA as the backbone, but I also expanded out. And I had my own direct-to-consumer sites, I had retail distribution, I had wholesaling, a lot of other elements to the business, which made it more appealing to the buyer. And that was also a time where it wasn't so saturated, where it wasn't so competitive. I got started in 2012. Right now, it's a completely different ballgame. I mean, it is super competitive. It's super expensive to launch and rank products. You have to pay a lot of money to advertise. You're going up against incumbents, people like me who have been in the business for a long time, who maybe have established products with tons of reviews. It's just very difficult to do. You also have a lot of Chinese sellers who just have a massive advantage over you, in the sense that If they're manufacturing the product in China, obviously they're going to get a better price. They're going to be a local. They just have much more control over that side of things than you as an American or European seller is going to have trying to sell on Amazon and compete with them. So by itself, I put Amazon FBA as not a great business model just because it's super competitive and hard to do and hard to differentiate. However, when paired with another channel, and I think the best one to work in conjunction with Amazon FBA is TikTok Shop, I think it's an amazing business, right? So because you're going to solve some of those problems that I just talked about by using TikTok Shop, by using the affiliates on TikTok Shop to drive traffic, to get branded search, to drive up your organic ranks, to get reviews, and to differentiate yourself from all the other sellers on Amazon. So when you combine it with TikTok Shop, it's the best. I would say one of the best business models when it comes to e-commerce out there, because again, you're getting all the benefits of the visibility of the Amazon marketplace. You're creating this flywheel where you're driving traffic off Amazon into, from Amazon into Amazon. You're getting those conversions. You're getting branded search, which is like liquid gold for Amazon. They love it. And you just create this flywheel of, conversions and organic sales that is really unmatched. And so where I'm building businesses are definitely on TikTok Shop and Amazon together, because that combination is the powerhouse and it's working so well right now. If I was just building a business with just Amazon FBA, I wouldn't be doing it because it's just super competitive and it's saturated, and it's hard to exit in Amazon FBA only business. We went through this boom period with all the aggregators like Thrasio and SellerX and Berlin Brands and all the other ones, and most of them didn't survive. They didn't do well because it's hard to run just an Amazon FBA only business profitably when the fees keep going up on Amazon, when there's more sellers entering the market and diluting, kind of the demand and the market share, competing against you. It's hard to differentiate and build a unique product. It requires real investment. And so, on its own, it's not a great business model, but when you combine it with TikTok Shop, it's, S tier, in my opinion. Now let's talk about TikTok Shop. I think it's a good segue into it. TikTok Shop is where I'm putting all of my energy, okay? And when I say TikTok Shop, I mean the combination of TikTok Shop and Amazon, but primarily leveraging all the amazing things about TikTok Shop to build an e-commerce brand, an 8-figure brand, all right? Meaning 10 million or more per year in revenue at profit. And TikTok Shop is in a golden era in the sense of it reminds me so much of Amazon in the early days. A lot of people don't even know about it. They don't really know how it works. Sellers are kind of hesitant to jump in, although I would say more recently they're realizing why it's super important and they are starting to take that leap. But it's just early days. It's super early days. And because of the scale and the pace at which TikTok Shop is growing, and because how aggressively they're going after Amazon's market share, you just have so many weapons at your disposal to build an incredible brand on TikTok Shop. And you're seeing brands just explode on there. I mean, there's tons of brands just crushing it. You've never even heard of them before. And they're doing $50 million, $100 million in sales a year. I mean, Nello, Primal Queen, the brand that built the survival guidebooks, journaling brands. I mean, the list goes on and on with these companies that you probably never heard of them before. But if you look at their numbers, they're crushing it. 50,000 units a month, 100,000 units a month. Nello is, going to be $1 billion brand, from TikTok Shop. And the funny thing is, when you look on their Amazon listing, they don't have that many reviews. They've got at the moment, something like 1,400 reviews or whatever. It's not that many for doing that many sales. But the power is in TikTok Shop and the TikTok Shop shoppable videos and the affiliate program. So if you don't know what that is, I suggest you learn about it, because not only can you make money as an actual affiliate, meaning creating shoppable videos and content where you create content about a product and you link to the product in the video. And if that product sells, you get a commission on it. I know, mind blowing, right? But as a brand, you leverage all of those affiliates. And why that's game changing is because it completely flips the paradigm of marketing on its head. Before, and in the example, if you're running a Shopify site or direct to consumer business, you have to pay a lot of money to test ads and to run ads and to maybe get conversions. So you're spending money before you're getting sales. And if you know how to do it, then you can find the winners and then you scale it up and it becomes profitable. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're spending a lot of money and you may not get any results. But with the TikTok Shop affiliate program, you don't really spend any money until the sale happens, right? They get a commission after the sale is made. So yes, you need to ship them samples, but you're sending them samples like at cost. So if your product costs, $2 a unit to manufacture, you're selling it for 20 or 25 or whatever the price is. You send, 500 units or 1,000 units to affiliates. Yeah, you got to pay essentially out of pocket, $2,000-$4,000, but that's like nothing to potentially generate millions of dollars in sales. And it just keeps going, right? If you get winning videos, which you will with some of the affiliates, the hit rate is pretty good. That piece of content will keep producing sales for you. It doesn't just stop. It just keeps going. It's like real estate that keeps paying you dividends. So as long as you keep your product in stock, you're going to keep selling that product, and it just compounds over and over and over again. I've never seen anything like it, and it's completely game changing, which is why I'm going all in on this. I'm building 8-figure brands right now. I'm helping other people learn how to do it. I'm buying TikTok Shop brands. If you have a good brand, I'm investing in them. The point is that this is the gold rush. This is the thing you need to be focusing on if you want to build an e-commerce business in this current time. And the beauty of it, on top of the affiliate component and the marketing spend and how that's changed, is that when you start having viral videos on TikTok Shop for your product, tons of traffic spills over onto Amazon. Okay, so what does Amazon love more than anything? They love outside traffic that converts, because Amazon spends a lot of money to get traffic to their website. So if you're giving them free traffic and they're getting sales and getting a commission on those sales, they love it. So branded search is like the golden ticket. And branded search is essentially when somebody searches for your brand name and then the product. So like, one of the best brands out there is Mary Ruth's Organics. I've known the owner of that business for a long time. He and his wife started the company, and they built an amazing business. I mean, I just love everything about their company. From the mission to the products are great quality as well. But essentially, if you look up Mary Ruth's, like multi-mineral, or if you look up, if you go on Amazon and search, Mary Ruth's, whatever product, that the search for their brand name is often higher than the product itself. So like, imagine somebody, they search for Mary Ruth's more than they do for like, ionic zinc or whatever product that they're looking for. They look for the brand more than the product itself. And I can just tell you that Amazon rewards that so much. They give you so much organic traffic, and sales come from that, where it's just explosive. And then again, this flywheel thing kicks in where you're ranking higher, so you're getting more organic sales, your PPC costs are lower because you're getting more organic sales, and it just rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And that's why it's very easy to identify products that are doing well on TikTok Shop on Amazon, because a lot of them don't have a lot of reviews. If you look at like Primal Queen, that one product is doing like, I don't know, 500 or 600K a month in sales on Amazon at the current moment, and they don't have a lot of reviews. And that's very unusual for Amazon, very, very unusual. And that's because of TikTok Shop, because all that traffic spills over to Amazon. Not everybody's comfortable shopping on TikTok Shop. It's new, right? But they will go to Amazon. They will search for that viral product that they saw the video about, and then they will buy it. And it just creates this amazing system of incredible sales. And by the way, very profitable that way, right? You're making most of your profit on Amazon, to be honest with you, because You're not paying the affiliate fee on TikTok Shop, but it doesn't matter because it washes out and you just get good margins. You drive a ton of revenue, and that's how you build a real brand. Now, if you add the third element in there of having your own Shopify site as well, which you should of course have anyway, it legitimizes your brand. It allows you to capture emails, to remarket to people, all the positive stuff I mentioned about Shopify. That trifecta is the secret sauce when it comes to e-commerce success in this current age. And I think going forward, TikTok Shop, Amazon FBA, having your own Shopify site with the main focus being on building an affiliate army on TikTok Shop that will promote your product, and having incredibly done high converting listings on Amazon so that when the traffic goes to Amazon, it converts really well and you get all of those sales. And so I would rank TikTok Shop at the absolute top of the list when you combine it with Amazon FBA. And again, the sales on TikTok Shop are fulfilled automatically via Amazon FBA, or you can also use TikTok's new Fulfilled by TikTok program. I don't think it's available for everybody, but I mean, it's just incredible how you can unlock this stuff that makes all the operational stuff of running a business like this so much easier. And that's the secret hack. Really, that's the trick. I'm showing people how to do this with my 8-figure brand blueprint. I'm going to be teaching a handful of people directly on how to build 8-figure brands using TikTok Shop, using Amazon FBA. And yeah, it's just the way to do it in this day and age. And I think it's a limited window, right? It's not going to be like this forever because people are going to learn how to take advantage of it. There's going to be new rules that are going to come out on TikTok that are going to, maybe change things. I don't know for sure, but I just know from experience that's what always happens. So now is the time. 100% now is the time. If you want to build a brand, if you want to, get started making money online, if you've always wanted to do e-commerce, this is the way to do it. TikTok Shop and Amazon together, that's the secret sauce. That's what I'm showing people how to do. And I rate that at the top of the list, S tier, and everything else is below it. They're all important pieces of the puzzle, but if I wanted to start from the beginning now, I would definitely be doing that and focusing all my energy on learning TikTok and learning TikTok Shop and understanding the affiliate network, because that's where 8-figure brands are going to be built starting now. Good luck.